Fist pump, fist pump. Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. I am the Captain Joey Savage.
I don't believe you.
What?
Oh, man. Then take your headphones off.
Challenge.
All right, I'm out.
Challenge.
Gauntlet accepted. Wait, someone's got to press the buttons. Put them back on.
Stay.
You're listening to Nerd Thug Radio. I am the Captain Joey Savage. This is...
Corey, DLG.
And this guy's fired when this segment's over. His name is Nico.
You can't run the show without me.
His name is Nico Savage.
You know, that's totally true for now, but we'll replace you.
We can find somebody.
You have to pay him.
We'll find somebody.
I bet Sadie could do it. Sadie Savage could do it.
Yeah.
You know what, man?
She's a legend here, 8-year-old.
Yep.
If we get produced by an 8-year-old, you're a joke.
We've literally,
pretty much.
We've literally changed Nico's life. If you think about it, before this show,
For the better, though?
Nico was a hobbit, basically.
Yeah, that's fact.
A
Yeah,
hermit.
yeah.
More like a hermit.
A hermit, yeah.
You know what I was listening to the other day? I was randomly going through the podcast, and I hit the spot where we called Nico the Hobbit. Remember his like famous stories?
Yeah.
Nico
And he screwed him
and
up.
he solely screwed it up in that segment. Of course, it's your one time. How tall are you, Nico?
What?
There it goes again. All right, you just stay out of this
Yeah,
segment,
you
okay?
don't even...
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Alright.
You got it.
I was gonna say
I'll
realest
stay
guys
on
in
this
the
one camera angle. You guys got it.
yeah. I was gonna say realest guys in the room.
Bada bing!
There's Corey
Bada bing.
DLG. There's Corey
I
DLG.
hate you both.
You listen to us on Cardinals FM 104.5, 106.1. The podcast can be found at nerdthugradio.com.
Thanks for listening so far today, guys. I hope everyone's Monday went well.
Episode 51.
All right, that's the end of the episode. Okay.
Yeah.
This has literally been a full year since episode 1 it landed.
So...
That's insane.
1 year ago, episode 1 debuted, and now we're on 51.
Here's what's trippy about that.
Okay.
Is there's definitely 2 weeks where we aired a best of.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like 53 weeks somehow.
Yeah, but 51 episodes a year later. Wow.
I guess if you start with that 1 week and then you do 52 weeks plus that.
Right.
So it's like 53 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Whatever he says.
So if you really want to be exact, it's like 98 hours, 96 hours of Nerd Thug Radio.
Something
96
like
hours. So
Something like
96 hours of
Well,
Nerd
now
Thug.
90.
Not even that close, because like they're not even 2 hours. Like an hour or 40 minutes.
Yeah, so really...
It's 100 hours of Nerd Thug Radio.
Yeah.
Y'all called it.
You're welcome.
So,
Hang
Corey
on,
DLG,
Before you do,
go ahead.
I've been watching some of my favorite little ghost YouTube clips. I know. you love
Bringing
these.
back to Alien E.T.
No. This is a good one. This is a good one. It was some footage, security cam footage of a stretcher outside of a hospital.
Yep.
That keeps moving on its own.
Magnets.
And it gets some really good.
How do
movement.
they
like,
work?
Falls
Magnets.
off the balcony. Good, like onto the ground.
Magnets.
And then another time, one of the security guards sees that it's sitting out by itself, and he goes to grab it to bring it back inside. And as he's walking up to it, it moves away from him. He throws his hands up, turns around, and walks back inside. He's like, "Yep,
Magnets.
don't need this stretcher."
Are you watching
He's like,
Zach King
better-
videos again?
No.
Better move it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Have you seen Zach King on YouTube?
Uh-uh.
Oh my god,
That's
he's
the
amazing. Magician
illusionist
guy?
guy. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's
Oh.
hilarious. Like,
You've probably seen.
like
it.
you know,
at least once.
like
Probably.
Willie Savage thinks he's a real magician,
Well, yeah.
He's
but
a fake magician.
his illusions are awesome. Like it's very well
I
done.
just started Magicians on Netflix.
Yeah. I heard it. I started to watch it. I was going to, and then I didn't. I want to know how it is. I
I'm.
got too much other stuff I'm trying to
about
watch.
to start the 3rd episode.
Is it good?
The first
How are the first
episode,
two?
I could take it or leave it.
Mhm.
But the second episode, well, okay, the very end of the first episode is really intense. If my
Okay.
chronology is right, I might be one episode off here. This might be the very end of the second episode. But magic violence goes down.
Magic
and
violence.
it's brutal.
Violence.
Okay.
Let's just say that a demon comes out and steals a dude's eyes.
Oh, that's crazy.
and
This.
kills a teacher
And a teacher.
and a teacher.
Unfortunate.
Right, like it's it's pretty good so far, but it's also kind of
Cheesy. Acting.
No, it's not. It's just I'm not totally sure yet what's going
Happening.
on.
I feel the same way as I am about to watch the season finale of Legion.
Okay.
Legion.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
See, that's why I stopped, man. That's why I stopped.
Now I will
because-
say this. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Before the show started, we talked here, and you said, watch when they get to the end of the season. They'll be back in the mental institute.
Yeah.
They're back there right now.
I told you, dude.
But
I
it's
told
different.
you.
But it's different. It's not the same scenario. It's a different.
They circled back to it.
It's
not
the same.
necessarily
It's the
the
same
thing.
setting, but different people and a different reason why they're there. You'd have to watch it, but
No,
like
I
we
don't have to watch
predicted,
it. Yeah.
they are back there.
I told you, man. Like
It's good.
I
It's
don't
just
know, man.
It's good, but I don't know if it's long enough because I didn't realize we were at the season ending.
Yeah, it's only like 7 episodes
Yeah,
per season.
we're at the season ending, and I'm like, wait a minute, like that was it? Like there was so much more that could happen.
Do you think you could still find out in the season finale that it's all a dream?
No.
You think this is real?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely not a dream.
Okay.
Definitely not. It is mind games and a bunch of head games, but it's not a dream.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I'll give it. You tell me how. If you're happy with how it ends,
All right,
I might
okay.
come back to it.
Second season of Into the Badlands aired, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I want to see season 1.
Yeah, season 1 was really good. I heard.
Really
Yeah,
good. I really liked it.
I was with a friend, a work friend, who we were talking about something, and he's really into video games.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, hey, have you been in baseball? And I was like, well, did you watch the World Baseball Classic? And he was like, no, I've been really caught up in this like Netflix show that's like super awesome. I was like, oh yeah, which one? He's like, it's called Iron Fist. He's like, you probably watched it because you nerd. Like, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was at that time I was only on episode 6, and so he was on episode 6, so we could talk about it. But then he was like, dude, you got to watch Into the Badlands if you like this. He's like, it is amazing.
It's so good. All the fight scenes are fantastic.
What do they call the fighters in that?
Oh,
They call them like swords or something.
Clippers.
Clippers.
Like I wanted to see it when it aired on AMC.
Yeah.
And so I went to record it, but for whatever reason, like the first
Just
2
didn't
episodes
happen, huh?
didn't record because of other stuff. But then the last half did. I was like, well, I can't just pick up here.
Yeah.
But now it's on Netflix, so I can watch it all.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yep.
I might do that after Magicians.
Season 1. Yep.
It's super good. Totally worth it.
All right, you know what's not totally worth it? Collectibles.
You nailed this. You really did.
So I read this article and it got me thinking, how much stuff did we collect as kids, and maybe even collect now, that we always thought, like,
HeroClix.
I'm going to hold on to this because it's going to be worth a lot of money one day. And
Right.
it's just not.
So here's what you don't know, Nico.
What?
In the 90s.
Pogs.
That was hey,
yes, yes.
This list I read, that was on the top 10.
So in the 90s, they basically just told you that everything you liked was collectible and going to be worth money later. So in the 90s,
Beanie Babies.
They mass
That was one of them,
That was
too?
one of them. So they would mass produce everything.
So
Everything was
and-
mass produced.
And that's where the problem lies,
Right.
because they made, like, baseball cards.
Right.
I collected so many baseball cards as a kid. But because they're from the 90s,
They're
and they
worthless.
made millions of them, they're
They're
not worth
worthless.
anything. Football cards, same, like,
Yeah, all
cards,
of that. All
like,
of it.
What's funny is people, they have like a card collection. Like, they have this card collection, so it should be worth a lot of money. And so my first question always is like, well, when does your collection start? And like 75. It's not worth anything.
Nope. Mm.
You need something from like the 40s and 50s.
Right. You need to wait like another 30 years for that to be worth
Same thing with
anything.
comics.
Right. So, okay, so the 90s basically, they everything was collectible. Everything.
Always held on
action
to it.
figures, your toys.
Star Wars action
The
figures.
Star
Remember
Wars,
when
yes,
when
they
the
were in-
prequels came out?
Oh my god!
When the prequels came out, like the first, like Phantom Menace and stuff, they're like, buy these Star Wars figures. They're gonna be worth tons one day.
So
They're also on the $5 bin at Space Cadets right now.
They blew up Walmart with Star Wars toys. Walmart had a whole Star Wars aisle for a long time.
Yep.
A whole Star Wars aisle, and then like the X-Men would be like in the middle of it. And all of these toys, they were like it's all gonna be collectible. All the toys, the comic books. Marvel was making like 40 comic books a month, but they were telling you they're all gonna be collectible.
And they're not.
All these number 1s and foil covers and number 25s and variants and
I've got like 3 copies of a Silver Sable silver cover. But like
Silver
speaking of
Sable.
comics, even so, this lady at my work, this was about 4 years ago. Her brother found this like box of comics in like this attic or something, and so she had a bunch of comics, and she was talking to some guy at work. He's like, "Oh man, those old comics are worth a lot. You could probably get like $1,000 for those things." So obviously she comes to me and she says, "I have all these old comics. Will you sell them for me? I'll give you half of whatever you sell it for." In her mind, she's like, "These are worth $1,000 now."
right.
And so I was like, okay, well, bring them to me. She brings them to me, and she said they were old Superman comics. Well, they were old action comics, but they're the middle run from like the 70s.
Yeah.
So she's got like most of them from like 71 all the way to like 1980,
Yeah.
but they made so many, even those aren't really worth anything. Like when I
Mhm.
finally priced it out, I was like, these things, I mean, I found one guy that would give me like $200 for these. And she's like, oh no, that's not enough. Someone told me they're worth $1,000. I was like, they're not though.
Here's what I
I
hated.
still have them.
Here's what I hated. So, yeah. So here's what I hate. Okay. So SPO Comics.
Yep.
I started a comic shop. It was a little hobby store. It was a little nerd store. It kind of started the nerd love for me. Reinvigorated the nerd love for me.
Yes.
I did all kinds of nerd sports,
Anything nerd related.
sports games and comics. Anything nerds could like. SPO Comics. So people would bring you stuff all the time, and they had a value attached to it already, and they can never get out of their head the value they already had. There was a guy one time, he brought me. Okay, I'm gonna say the name of the band was Air Supply. It wasn't really Air Supply. It was a 4-issue comic book series from some 1980s, 1990s band no one had ever heard of.
He thought it was a collectible.
They were signed by all the band, though, so he knew these were collectible. But
Right.
the problem is, no one cares about the band.
And they're not authenticated.
And none, well, that too, but none of the creators were anybody special either. Because here's the other trick. Like, okay, if one of them was like Brian Michael Bendis' first comic book ever, yeah, it's worth some money now, probably. But that's because he's a big deal now.
What do I always say about the value of something?
It's only worth what someone will pay for it.
Exactly. You might think it's worth $1 million, but if someone's going to pay you $50 for it, guess what? That thing's now worth $50.
So this guy kept, like, he would talk to me every week. He would come into my little shop in the flea market and would try and pitch me on these books that I should buy them from him. But I told him, I was like, there's probably not a big market for it. So honestly, I'd probably give you like maybe like $2. And he was like, what? And I was like, look, dude, in the front of my store, I had all my old vintage books that I was selling for $1.
Right.
I was like, I'm selling books 20 years older than your comic book for $1. Like, are you really going to sit here and tell me that this is worth something?
Because the artwork was crappy.
Right. Well, it's because they just weren't. I mean,
Right.
It just wasn't there.
Yeah, I bought a lot of Captain America comics, I think from like the 70s.
Yeah.
A whole full run. And it's taken, I mean, I love Captain America. Favorite comic book character. It's taken all of my energy to like power through because
they're bad.
yeah, the words are short. There's not a lot to the story.
No.
But they were great comics.
But man, yeah.
So it's funny.
They told us that era was totally collectible.
None of it is.
The comic book cards, remember?
Yeah.
All the comic book cards were
That was on the
tradable.
list
That was
too.
a big deal.
Pogs. Even
Pogs,
Pokemon cards.
Pokemon. The Beanie Babies.
When it comes down
The
to
thing
it.
about Pokemon cards is that some of them actually are collectible.
Well, no, that's the thing. When it comes to some things, there's always going to be
Yeah, there's always going to be.
your 5%ers that are
Right,
actually worth
yeah.
money, but then there's 95% that's not.
Well,
Right.
actually, generally with Pokemon, it's just if you have a lot of the older sets, as long as it's mint, like you're good. Like most of that stuff's worth a lot.
Well, like so.
But like usually it's between like first, second set.
Right, exactly. So like when you bought the reprints from the WalMarts.
Yeah.
Not
Worthless.
good.
Yeah.
Worthless. I mean, I still keep like my newer comics because hopefully one day they are worth something, even though they're not. But
grab every number one you
I
can.
usually, as we get ready to end the show today, I keep all this stuff. Like I'm a hoarder when it comes to my
you
nerd
really are.
stuff, and
You
basically it's because when Willie gets older, I want him to have it, or by some stroke of genius, I live long enough to see grandkids. Like I can give them to them,
There you go.
and even though it might not be what they want, it'll at least be a little bit of Papa.
See, for me, the joy is watching my nephew play with my action figures now,
Yeah.
and he's like, Corey, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And I get to tell the stories and be like, that's Bishop. Nobody likes him.
He's the greatest comic book character of all time. We are the greatest radio of all time. Radio Tag Team, Nerd Thug Radio.
Whoop whoop.
And thanks for listening to episode 51. We're going to get out here. Before we do, be sure you check us out at nerdthugradio.com. Check us out on YouTube. Corey DLG, any passing words?
Yeah, man. Hope everybody's Monday was great. Have a great day. Be kind to each other. See you guys next week.
Yeah. Share the podcast with all your friends. nerdthugradio.com.